out, only 70 minutes left. So, Dick, I'm going to turn it over to you while I look through this current list, which tells us how many presidents are being represented right now.
Okay, thank you,
Please.
Sonia. Well, first of all, appreciate everybody joining us. And again, let me offer one thing. I mean, I'm involved obviously between the annual giving chair, between the other things we do for the foundation, everything else in the club. Sonia and I are both pretty busy folks involved in what we do in the district. We care. For that reason, we also believe that the district conference matters. This is the second year in the past 4 years that we have agreed to co-chair it, which takes a fair amount of effort on part of everybody on the group. Yes, it's a bit of a party. It's a celebration for what we have done during the year, but it's also a coming together of people from all of the islands and all of the clubs to do one of the most valuable things we do, which is talk story, get together, trade good ideas and tips and everything else. That's really a vibrant part of our growth as a district. And so we ask you to join us. I will probably be the person who will be calling some of the AGs and club presidents as we go forward. Sonia mentioned that we're looking for 70 more full registrations. That really helps us to have a firm foundation to do what we need to do to celebrate the year's activities, to give a big mahalo to Ted and the entire group who has led us, and a welcome to the group coming in. And so we ask that you will join us. The Ala Moana Hotel is a great venue. Nancy Cabral, I think, is working to set up a multi-year arrangement with us, which will make it very, very effective and attractive financially. This is perhaps aimed more to Oahu clubs than others, but we want everybody to come join us. Many clubs, including Ted's club from Kauai and others in Hilo, for example, have very, very generously stepped up to support. We have some clubs where no one has stepped up, including the president. I think we need to address that. So I'm going to be calling many of you gently to ask you to please help us, because we really need to build those extra full memberships to have not a party, but a coming together of people, good ideas, exchanges, great speeches, everything we will do, group hug, and then go forward for a great year ahead. So please support us in that, and we'll be working with all of you. I am looking at all of the teams, clubs' participations, and some have really stepped up, others not so much. I understand circumstances are different, but we hope you will join us. It's going to be a great event, not a great party, but a great event to celebrate a year of what Rotary has done for our state, for the nation, for the larger world. Mahalo.
Thank you, Dick. Going through the list, which was last updated on February 10th, we have a total of 31 club presidents represented throughout the district as a whole. So there are clubs where there's no representation at all by the club president or the PE. So at this point, I don't want to go calling out names, of who they are. But if you want a list and you want to see which clubs have representation and which do not, I will be more than happy to send this to you. Natasha, who's our registration chair, was out of town and she should be back in 2 days. There were some registrations, about 5 that came in the last week, and she's going to add them to the list. So if you can maybe wait about 3 or 4 days, I will make sure that I will get you an updated list. But if you do want a list, please shoot me a quick email and say, I'd like a list. Now, Ted sent you right before the meeting this document, which is all the important things that you need to know. I just thought that while we have all the presidents here and the AGs, everything that you need to know about DISCON is on this 4-page handy reference sheet, okay? And it gives you also the names of who to contact in case you have any questions. So really, really want to make this a really great celebration for Ted in Oahu, and especially the neighbor island Rotarians who are coming over. In the document, I did ask you, please let me know ASAP what your flight arrangements are, because that's going to determine what time we have the shuttle come to the airport, because we certainly don't want to send a shuttle there with only 4 people boarding it. Okay, so please read the document at your leisure. Mark it up if you want to, circle it, call the people, and really go out there and help us find 70 more registrants, especially if your club is not even represented. Okay, so we
Sonia,
appreciate.
mahalo for that. And I will add one more thing, and that is, again, please, we would like to have at least some representation from every club, so we're all part of the group hug, the Ohana going forward. For our neighbor island clubs, I've got to tell you what, many of the things I've learned in 25 years as a Rotarian here, the best tips I got as a club president, AG, and whatever I've done has been from our neighbor island clubs. So I look forward to all of you. You could probably come up to me and tell me that I said this in this meeting and ask me if I will buy you a free glass of wine or something at the convention. And you're probably going to get one. So mahalo for your support.
So right now, according to the list, we have 55 neighbor island Rotarians coming in. That's what we have, 55. So thank you for all that you do. We know that being a club president, your plate is full, and Rotary consistently asks you to give a little bit more because you can. But please know that we love you to the moon and back. Mahalo. Bye.
Any questions for Sonia and Dick about district conference?
Nope, I think I was pretty thorough on that 4-page document that got sent out.
Emily asked you a question.
Well, I don't have a question. I just wanted to let you know that I am coming to the conference as well as my husband. And it was just a financial reason that we haven't registered so far. So what is the deadline? I talked to my club last week ago about going, and I have another meeting tomorrow and I'll bring it up. But what is the deadline to sign up?
On the first page, April 29.
April 29. Okay.
Yeah. And Hickam Pearl Harbor is a great club. That's one for which I joined others to help to get that club formed, or having long been a Hickam denizen. So we welcome you. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Sonia,
Yes.
One of my members paid for the district conference and found out that she is not going to be available, so she wants to transfer it to another member. Does she contact you for
Natasha.
that?
Contact
Natasha.
Natasha.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll let her know.
she can do that, and with Conrad's help, they can do the transfer. Yeah.
Yep.
You're coming over, right, Wendy?
So,
I said you're coming
as
over.
every year, and as
I
every
am.
year,
I'm
Wendy,
ready. I'm coming. I'm bringing
as
my
every
daughter
year,
too.
Wendy
That's
is,
awesome. Yay!
Because every year, Wendy is one of my heroes. You get a hug and a glass of wine.
All right. Yay. Now I'm definitely coming.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sonia and Dick. As a follow-on to that, I'm going to be giving you a couple of action items also for the district conference. So besides getting your members encouraged and signed up, I have a couple of action items for you personally. So one of the things that we, of course, want to do during the conference is we want to celebrate and recognize our clubs and some of the wonderful things that all of our clubs have done this year. So first is a serious recognition, and that is we will continue what we started last year with TED Talks. And of course, this year they really will be TED Talks because, of course, my name is Ted. But the TED Talks are not going to be me talking at you, but hopefully it will be either you or members from your club who will be sharing with us in a 7 to 10 minute TED Talk. something that your club has done that has been outstanding in one of our 4 strategic priorities. So after tonight, I will be sending you just a little form and I'm going to ask you all to self-nominate. If you don't want to self-nominate, that's okay, but hopefully a lot of you will. And this will be something that your club has done that you think is outstanding, worth sharing the ideas and best practices with the other clubs about increasing your impact or expanding your reach or enhancing your participant engagement or increasing your ability to adapt. And it can be anything within those 4 categories that you think your club's done a really good job and that it might be valuable for other clubs to see and hear what you've done in one of those 4 categories. So again, I'll send you a short form for you to nominate your club. In the case that we're oversubscribed, if we get way more nominations than we have time to actually do the TED Talks, then the panel of judges will be the DG line. So that'll be me, Nancy Benson, and Rich Proctor. David, we're getting echo from you. So we will be the panel of judges then to decide which clubs will fill those TED Talk slots. So that's number 1. So watch for the form for you to do that. Engage your club members about what they think of your nomination for that. And who should be the spokesperson, who should do the TED Talk. And then the second item, I'm going to ask you, David, can you mute? We're getting an echo from you. So the second one is going to be asking you to nominate yourself for a fun recognition. So this, I'm going to ask you to be creative and have some fun. So this is not serious. This is something that you want to nominate your club as the best at. So it can be that you're the club that's best at singing, at picking up trash, at telling jokes, at decorating, at eating, at drinking, at partying. You're the best club at field trips, whatever you guys come up with. And make it fun, make it humorous, and send me a nomination of something fun that we ought to recognize your club to be the best at. Is that clear to everybody? Any questions about either of those? And I'll send you a follow-up email with a form and instructions for that. Okay, so that's district conference. Next on our agenda is our foundation events, and Dave Mosdrin is here to talk to us about foundation events. Dave.
There I am. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Ted. As you folks know, we are dealing with some foundation seminars that we're having on all the neighbor islands, and one of them is on Oahu, and we're having two on the Big Island, one on Maui, and one on Kauai. And so I hope that you're all looking at attending the foundation dinners that we're scheduling for that particular period of time. But I also wanted to share with you some events that are happening that you folks need to be aware of. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay. One moment. Share screen. It's here, one of these. There we go. All right, so as you folks know, final reports are due on May 31st for the foundation district grants. So I wanted to make sure that you folks are all aware of that date. Hopefully you can see my screen. So you can go to the website, or you should be able to pull up your particular district grants and be able to fill those out with the completion of those particular district grants and get those turned in as soon as possible. They should have been turned in within 1 month of completion of your event, or by May 31st as the last deadline. One of the things that you don't have to do real fast, and that's giving to the Rotary Foundation, because we're allowing everybody to go through the end of the year to count what you've given to the Rotary Foundation. And this year, I'm showing you a little bit of a snapshot of where we're at. We had 100% of all of the clubs make goals for the annual giving, and our goal was $224,000. We are at $202,000, so we're at 90%. That big number 8 looming on the right means there are 8 clubs that haven't given anything. I won't say who those clubs are, but we will be going after those clubs to make sure they can get that something in there for their club to be counted as 100% giving. And then for Polio Plus, our goal was 58,000. We are at 53,000. 90% as our goal achieved, but we have 7 clubs that haven't given a cent to Polio Plus, so we will be talking to those too. This is something you should be looking at before your end of the year. Your club fundraiser analysis. This has been blacked out, so you don't know what club this is from, but basically this club has a goal of $9,000. They've reached $12,975 for annual giving. It shows you there that their per capita giving is $405, and the district per capita is $146. This also will give you how many club members you have that are in E-Ray, Sustaining, and Paul Harris Society members. So it's really a great tool for you to pull up and compare that with what your goals are. And it'll show you what your goal and what your club has given, so you know where you're at. I want to turn it over to Dick real quick to talk about the Oahu event, because we've got some deadlines on that one due to the military base closure. But Dick, you want to speak a little bit to this event?
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. I suppose you guys are tired of hearing this old geezer ask you for money and attendance and things. First, let me back up. As the annual giving chair, remember how much what you give matters, and please give generously. And obviously, you'll receive full credit for any donations, contributions you've given. With respect to our foundation event this year, we have events on several islands. That culminates in the end of March, on March 29th, with an event at the Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum. I happen to be one of their vice presidents, so I've offered the museum up. We're going to bring people out. If you have military access, you can drive on. If not, we have an air-conditioned Royal Star bus to bring you out to the event. We're going to first do a small fireside chat with about a dozen people with Vicki Poulis, who is an awesome speaker, great person. While she is there doing that, I'll take her husband, who's a pilot and aircraft owner, out for a tour of the museum. After that, we will enjoy the evening there. We will meet for cocktails, and we will have a nice buffet dinner in the museum. You'll have a chance to fly the simulator there and to enjoy the museum grounds, and then to hear from Vicki. And we will have, I think, a superb conclusion of her very successful visit through all the clubs in the islands. We welcome you there. The deadline for registrations was today. I negotiated to move it up to 2 days from now. So we still have some openings available. If you would like to join us for the evening, which will be a wonderful evening, I hope you will go online and register for the District 5000 Foundation Magic event and join us on that evening. We'll have good fun, and you'll get a chance to see a place that some don't see so often. I'm proud of it, and we'll be glad to be your host there at the evening. Mahalo.
Thanks, Dick. I appreciate that. Chef Chai is catering, and the drinks are included, so $75 is a bargain, at least for our side of the fence. So thank you very much. Hopefully you can all attend. I just wanted to give
Nancy, we already have you for the VIP DG line table, so you're good to go.
Thank you. I cannot remember who I signed up with or didn't, so thank you.
You're good.
You signed up 4 times. We got your check all 4 times. So
okay,
you're
there
good.
you go.
Yeah, good.
Hey, I signed up for Albuquerque 3 times already, so that was big bucks.
Dick,
These
could
are
someone
just-
post the link for the registration in the chat or something?
We can. I don't have that handy, but we'll get that out to you.
Or get it out. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
All right, sounds great. All right, these are just some of the training dates that are coming up for your next year. And I want to make sure that your presidents this year are going to be helping out your successors and getting them going on a start for the next year for all the foundation events. And foundation goals, I don't want to go into that too much today because I know we're running out of time. And that's it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions?
Okay.
for Dick? Questions about foundation events or any of the other things that he covered?
Put the link in the chat for you guys. I'm gonna put the Maui one too.
Wendy, you're fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. Yeah, because this is happening on each island, there's different links and different signs
Right.
for each one.
That's my reason for confusion. I have an excuse. Yeah. And
Well,
they all
we
look
try-
alike.
We tried to keep the theme
Well,
the same.
If
So
you show up on Oahu, which is still the gathering place, you're gonna get a hug, free vino, and a very warm welcome. Mahalo.
I'm coming for the vino.
One
Right.
team, one family, one
So I put the
Ohana.
links for Oahu, Kauai, and Maui in the chat, so you should be able to click on those. But if you don't have the links, if you go to the RotaryD5000.org and you go to Cloud Events, you'll see all those events listed there as well. Just another way to get to them in case you don't have the link.
Yeah, and
And
I
it-
want to recognize and thank Wendy, Joanne, and Al for organizing the Maui
Absolutely.
event. I want to thank Beverly and the Hilo team for organizing
Virginia.
the Hilo side event. I want to thank Scott Unger for coordinating the Kona side event. And I want to thank Rick Golda for organizing the Kauai event. So this is this is a whole team of people who are
That's right.
organizing and making sure we can come together and have a fun time, get an update on the Rotary Foundation, and celebrate the impact that we have through our foundation donations, both here at home through our district grants and also worldwide through our global grants. So please encourage your members to come, especially if you have newer members in your club who may be not as familiar with the Rotary Foundation. They just haven't been around to hear this as often. This is a great opportunity for them to get educated about the Rotary Foundation. So thank you. If no other questions on foundation, then the next item on our agenda is our Malama Maui weekend. And Al Weiland, would you like to share with us what we need to know about that?
Sure. So Rotary International has created an International Day of Service. And what Ted decided for this year is that we would have a weekend of service that would be district-wide that would essentially count for our contribution to the International Day of Service. The focus is on environment, and the program that we put together is the Malama Maui weekend, the weekend of April 25th and 26th. So what we intend is to have people from all over the district come to Maui to work on a whole variety of different projects. On the Friday, we will have folks at about 6 different sites, all on the west side in the Lahaina burn zone area and close by. These are going to be varied by the amount of exertion it may take to work in these sites. So depending on your level of interest and physical fitness, you may want to gravitate towards some types of activities or stay away from some type. But we have things planned for every level of interest. And that's on the Friday. We have arranged hotel space at a discount at the Outrigger in Ka'anapali. We have arranged for transportation that would be available from the hotel to the various sites, although because we're going to be at so many different places, unfortunately, you're going to have to pay for the shuttles to go. And we'll start on Friday morning with kind of an overview of what we're doing and a little bit about the protocol of working with the organizations that we are planning to work with on Friday. On the registration form, it looks like there is a limit to the number of people that can sign up for any given site. That's not true. It was kind of a more or less a minimum that was requested by the different sites. If we have substantially more people, we can accommodate in these various sites as many as want to show up. However, we would like you to register, and please let your club members know to register, because we are going to be providing lunches for both people on working in the various sites on Friday and on Saturday. We need to know how many lunches we're going to provide and where they're going to go. So please sign up. If you don't have a preference about where you would like to work, we will be more than happy to assign you. So don't worry about that. If you have a preference, that's terrific. We'll try to accommodate everybody. On Saturday, we're all going to be working with an organization called Treecovery Hawai'i. This is the group that is potting and growing trees that will be used to replant trees that were lost both on the west side and up country during the fires. They are going to be provided for free to homeowners, and in many cases will be exactly the same type of tree that was lost. So they are in the process of eventually growing up to 25,000 or so trees, which will be used over the years that people rebuild to go ahead and to replant what was lost. We may be working at either one or two sites on Saturday with Treecovery. We're still a little up in the air with that. Either we will be at their farm site, which is 20 acres above Kapalua, where they are doing massive potting of trees, or we'll be working at the banyan tree. And they are the organization that has been working to save and nourish the banyan tree down on Front Street. And that park is still kind of a mess. And so we may be working at that park. And we, depending on how many people we have, we may be in both sites at the same time, or we may concentrate in one or the other. On the Friday evening, there is a sunset sail that is available for people who would like to get together after we work and go out in the bay. It leaves right from in front of the outrigger. You basically walk in the surf onto the big catamaran. And it's a lovely, I have done it. It's a lovely dinner cruise at sunset. And so we'd encourage, if you're coming over and you want to do something relaxing a little bit different, sign up for the Terralani Sunset Cruise. So that's the Malama Maui weekend, and we're hoping to see good participation. We understand that we are competing with a number of other events that weekend, like Merry Monarch, which, sorry about that, but we thought that people who weren't going to go to Merry Monarch and they wanted to be part of a big service project, come along. We'd be happy to have you. I'll be happy to take any questions, or Wendy, if there's something you would like to add, go ahead.
I'm picking up the food, so make sure you sign up if you want your bento.
That's right. I don't see any hands.
Any questions? Just the background of this, you're probably aware we have in the past done district-wide projects where we had people fly off to Bali or to Fiji or Vietnam or someplace around the world to work on projects. And this year we said, we've got needs right here in Hawaii on the island of Maui. Let's have our district-wide project be on Maui and encourage as many of our Hawaii Rotarians as possible to come over to Maui and do some hands-on service. So if you can please talk it up in your clubs, encourage people to get signed up. Wendy, you wanted to add something?
I'm sorry, just a really quick ad. We had some of you may know this already, but just in case you didn't, we had District 5280 come over, which is in the LA area, and they brought over 50 LA Rotarians over to do work on Maui. They did a bunch of projects, and they also raised money. I want to say around $90,000 to different projects on Maui, which was amazing that they did that. So I'm hoping we can at least match that number or be close, since our islands are a little closer than LA. One of the things we are doing at our foundation dinners, we're doing a live auction, and those proceeds are going to go to the 5280 district because of their support to us. So we want to support them during their fires. But anyways, I just wanted to mention that we were able to get a bunch of people from LA to come over here. So we're hoping that we can get people from our islands to also do the same thing and experience. And if you haven't been to Maui before, or if you have and you've seen Lahaina a different way, it'll be an interesting thing to see, but you'll be, I think, pleasantly pleased by the progress. That's a lot of P's, sorry, that has occurred on the Lahaina side. So it would be nice to kind of get a check if you're not sure what's going on the island. And of course, we'd appreciate any support we can get. And thank you, Ted, for making this happen.
Thank you, Wendy.
One comment on the registration for the hotel. If you're planning on coming over, the rate that we negotiated with them is good through April the 1st. And after that, it's going to be whatever they normally charge their visitors, which is probably 1.5 to 2 times what you would pay for this. So yeah, I don't know the significance of that, but so please get your registration in early.
Yeah, you have something.
Yeah, question, Al. If you've got teams of people working in the burn zone, what about personal protection stuff for people working in the burn zone?
That's currently not considered an issue. It certainly was before. I mean, when early on you had to have hazmat suits, but most of the sites that we are going to go to have been cleared. So for example, the Boys and Girls Club reopened. They've got kids over there. They have a field. The Lahaina Aquatic Center is now reopened again. And there just aren't going to be issues with coming in contact with toxic chemicals anymore. There were, but that's not an issue now.
Okay. If nothing else on Malama Maui, next on our agenda is member retention. And of course, you probably thought at this point in the year as president, you'd just be able to coast till the end. But unfortunately, there are some more things that we have to do between now and the end of our Rotary year. And one of the things that, of course, we normally see is we do have traditionally a drop off in our membership toward the end of the Rotary year. And you've heard me as I came around to each of the clubs for the DG visit. When we talked about enhanced participant engagement, that was all about our existing members, making sure that they feel engaged, that they're having an irresistible club experience. So when it comes to the end of the year, there's no doubt that they are signed up to be lifelong Rotarians and they're going to continue to be part of our Rotary family. So just to share some words of wisdom with us and some insights on member retention, we have our outstanding membership committee chair, Connie Ichinose, with us tonight. Connie.
Hi, everyone. And of course, Ted gave the ideal situation, but in reality, that bad word attrition will come up, right? And that always happens, usually December and June, end of June. So, I mean, it's inevitable, right? You guys, and I'm seeing who's in the audience today, and it's like preaching to the choir because you guys all know this stuff. But you know what? Sometimes we need to be reminded. Sometimes we need just a little bit of a push here and there. But attrition, it's inevitable, right? So people move away, they pass away, but for whatever reason they leave, if it's not for those two reasons, Rotary was probably not a big priority to them. And it wasn't enough value in their life for them to continue their membership. So how do we retain those types of members? So of course, the first step is you have to know why they're leaving. So how many of you guys have in your clubs have conduct exit interviews? Do you know? Raise your hand. Okay. Not a whole lot. And that's okay, because another way you can do it, there are exit interviews on Rotary International and the Learning Center, but you can also at least have someone who has a good relationship with that member, have them talk to them and just find out the reason, because our secretary, I think it's usually our secretaries who go and they have to send in the paperwork and they'll ask the member why they're leaving and they'll give them a multiple choice, and usually it's not accurate. But what you need to do is have someone actually go and talk story with them and see why they really left, because if it could be something we could fix, or possibly, it could be that the club is just not the right fit, and that does happen. It's a reality too. But in that case, you can always refer them to another club in the area. And so they can still stay a Rotarian, maybe not in your club, but in someone else's club. So that's the value of talking to them and finding out why they're leaving. It could be, excuse me, it could be money, it could be personal, or something personal. And a lot of times they won't say why. But I mean, have you guys heard this before? Like, I just don't have time right now in my life. So I need to quit because I don't have time, right? Everybody's heard that. And that's the generic excuse people always give. And I call it an excuse because, is that true? Do we really not have enough time? Because if it was a priority, we would make the time, right? So how do we, it kind of comes down to engagement, and exactly what DG Ted said is they probably have not been engaged in the club, and that's why they don't feel like the club is or Rotary is a priority to them. And I know you guys all know, but engaging starts even before the potential member becomes a member. It starts during the onboarding process. And during that time, so let me ask you this. I'm sorry, my throat is dry, so I have a cough drop in my mouth, so I keep wanting to spit it out while I'm talking. Sorry. So, is your club, are they communicating with the new member about the onboarding process during the process? Like what can they expect, or what will be expected of them from the club? And then you want to, communicate with them. And the whole thing with engagement is communication, right? And so you want to communicate with them, find out what their passions are, and you want to get them into a committee as soon as possible. You want to get the induction ceremony to be something special for them. So, I know you guys have heard all this before, and but it's good to kind of be on top of it all the time. So how do we engage members more, on a regular basis? You want your meetings to be fun and energizing, right? And I mean, we also want to understand that we want to keep that meaningful service part of it in our meetings. So we want to keep like a bit of gravitas in there. So you want to have fun and crazy meetings and stuff, but you also want to have that other part of it too, because we want to keep in mind that most members join because they want to engage in some kind of meaningful service to the community and to the world. So we want to have a good balance of that. You want to be organized at your meetings and not to be all frantic and fanatic. You want to have an organized meeting so that you're being a good steward of your members' time, right? Okay, and then you want to provide members with leadership opportunities. And I think other than coming for the community service part, a lot of people come into Rotary because they want to engage in mentorship, or they want to develop their leadership skills, or they want to network. So that's very important as well. And you want to make sure your club is welcoming and inclusive. And it's funny because just on Friday at our club, we had a club assembly. And so we have some members in our club that feel that we should go for quality and not quantity in our members. And Nancy, stop it. But okay, there's two sides to that, right? I mean, I agree with both sides. I can see both sides of their points, but sometimes members come in and they're maybe not polished yet. We have to develop them. And so, it's not always the case that they have to be a good Rotarian, because I've heard that a lot from some of our members, like, well, that person doesn't do this, doesn't do that. They're not a good Rotarian. And so, since Nancy is here, I'm going to share the story that I shared at our meeting. Because it's my Rotary story, and I'll tell you what happened is that I was going through a divorce, and I was like just broken. I felt like I was dirt, like this big. I felt this big, and I was feeling sorry for myself and whatnot. And Nancy comes into my office one day, and if any of you know Nancy, she's not the most subtle person. She's kind of, she has the nickname arm twister and bulldozer. And so that kind of gives you an idea of how she is. So here I am, this just broken shell of a person, and she comes in and she just pretty much yells at me and says, you know what? Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get out of this office and join my Rotary Club. And so, I mean, so obedient I did. I got out of the office, I joined the club. And then, but once I was there, I felt like I said, my self-esteem was so low, and I just didn't want to talk to anybody. I was just, so for about 2 years, I did nothing. And then I thought, you know what, I better start doing something. So I tried to join a committee, and I thought, okay, that's the first step. So I tried to join a committee. I tried to join the same committee 3 times, and they never would call me. So can you imagine somebody with a low self-esteem? I was thinking like, oh my gosh, they don't want me in the club. I'm not good enough. They're all smarter than me. They're all more accomplished than me. I'm just, I'm nobody. I'm dirt, and so I was just figuring, you know what, I'm just going to quit, because I'm not good enough for this club, and I'm not good enough for Rotary. And I honestly felt that, and I was going to quit. And then, this one person who's on the nomination committee came to me one day and said, hey, would you consider becoming membership chair? And I was like, oh, well, somebody's asking me to do something. So I said, okay. I didn't know what it was. And I think they were just desperate. They probably asked like 10 people before me. And so I was probably the last, scraping the bottom of the barrel. But you know, I did it, and I realized that it was my passion and I loved it. And so, you know, here I was this close to quitting, and someone reached out and just, you know, asked me to do something. And that's all it was. Just ask the big ask, right? Wendy, we always call it, she's not even there, the big ask. But, you know, and I mean, now Rotary is like my second family. I just think of it, as Benson always says, it's my safe place. You know, I love Rotary. I love the people. I love, it's a challenge. And but you know, I would hope that all of us, and take it to our clubs, and just remind people, our Rotarians, to just sometimes reach your hand out. It doesn't cost you anything to reach your hand out and welcome someone and say, hi, my name's Connie, what's yours? You know, and talk to them and start to get to know them, because it might mean nothing to you, but you don't know what it might be to the person receiving. It might just be, it just might make their day and change their life. And so I thank you, Nancy, because you bulldozer lady, you changed my life. But please, let's everybody remember that, and have your members reach out to somebody in your clubs, and you know, welcome them, and then maybe they might stay a little longer, right? Anyway, that's it.
Yeah,
No,
super.
I thank you, Connie, for being such a great member and coming around. So I do remember when I when I invited you to Rotary. Yes, I do remember. Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you, Nancy, for inviting Connie, and thank
Yeah.
you, Connie, for sharing that story, and for some of the tips and reminders for us around member retention. I asked Connie to be on our agenda this evening, one, because I know a bunch of our clubs do have prospective members in the pipeline, so you'll have some new members coming in over the next couple months. So retention starts the day they join our club, if not before. And secondly, the time to worry about and be proactive about member retention is not on June 29th. It's now, if you haven't done it already. So thank you, Connie, for sharing that reminder with us. Last on our agenda for this evening, but not least, is Conrad. I asked Conrad to say a few words as around starting new clubs. You'll recall, as I came around to all of our clubs for the DG visits, one of the ways that we can be adaptable and flexible is by starting new satellite clubs, or even new Rotary or Rotaract clubs in our communities. And Conrad's been working on a new satellite club, and I asked him if he could share a few words with us this evening about starting a new club. Conrad.
Thanks, Ted. I know that we're at the end of our hour here, and so I will do my best to get all the information that I want to share with you regarding why forming new clubs strengthens Rotary in Hawaii, and how existing clubs can certainly benefit from it. So why does the District 5000 want to form new clubs? Well, for me, there are four reasons. Number one is to increase Rotary's impact. The more clubs means greater service, engagement, and outreach. Number two, diversity and inclusion. Different formats appeal to different lifestyles, demographics, and professional backgrounds. Number three, community representation. Some areas in Hawaii remain underrepresented, and I'll be talking a little bit about that with the club, satellite club that I'm helping put together here. And then fourth, it's sustainability of Rotary. A growing organization remains vibrant and adaptable to modern needs. And so creating new clubs that speak to a new audience benefits everyone, including the formation of that new club. So how does it benefit Hawaii Rotary and the existing clubs? Number two, it's strengthening Rotary's presence. So expanding reach into new communities, bringing fresh energy and service opportunities. Number two, it's membership retention and engagement. It retains members who may otherwise leave due to logistics or cultural misalignment, and I'll talk a little bit about that with the club that satellite club that I'm helping form. Number 3 is collaboration between clubs. This creates opportunities for shared projects, joint fundraisers, mentorships, and so forth. And of course, leadership development. It allows more Rotarians to step into leadership roles and shape Rotary's future. And I believe Connie mentioned this in her presentation. So what is a satellite club and why isn't it a flexible alternative? A satellite club is a club that is sponsored by an existing Rotary club, but operates with its own meetings, projects, and leadership structure. It only requires 8 members to charter, and the club will have to pay Rotary International dues and district dues, and they can determine what their club dues would be. It doesn't have to be what the sponsor club or mother club dues are, but depending on what the objectives are, they will then decide what those dues are going to look like. So why would we form a satellite club? It allows for flexible meeting times and locations, so it's ideal for members with demanding schedules or in a geographically distant area. It's a cost-effective and a lower commitment. So some members prefer a smaller scale, less formal club setting, and then it is a gateway to growth. So the idea is oftentimes the satellite clubs will evolve into a fully chartered Rotary club over time, or it just may be a feeder club to a mother club. So how it applies in real life situation? Well, I met a Rotarian who felt disconnected from her club due to distance and meeting times. She loved being part of Rotary, but due to the distance that she had to travel to the meeting, as well as when the meeting times were held, she thought that she talked to her club and they suggested transferring to another club, but there were no nearby clubs that fit her needs. And so she considered quitting, but I introduced her to the idea of forming a satellite club on the North Shore. So she's in a club that's on the South Shore, and that's the reason why she wasn't able to come to the meetings. And so she's now on a path to forming this satellite clubs, and it's going to be a win-win-win situation. She will win personally because she stays in Rotary. She'll be engaged in her community like what she wanted. It's a win for her original club because they retain a valuable member and they will be able to expand the impact of Rotary on the North Shore. And then it's a win for this new club that she's going to help form because she'll bring Rotary to an underrepresented area with new opportunities for service. And so in conclusion, Rotary's future lies in growth and adaptation. I want to encourage all you club presidents to identify your members who are struggling with engagement and explore this new club model. What we hear right now is that there are clubs that want to downgrade to satellite clubs. That's not really growth. So that situation is under like extreme circumstances. So rather than looking at other clubs and trying to downgrade them to a satellite club, we suggest looking at your current members who maybe leave one foot out the door already. See if there's an opportunity where they might be able to form a satellite club in a new area or with a new interest, right? So it could be a group of nurses, it could be a group of teachers, it could be a group of Saturday weekend warriors. Anything like that could help them stay in Rotary because the current model does not work for them. Know that there's a lot of resources. I am most be happy to be a resource for you to help with the satellite club formation. You've got a wonderful club membership, a district membership chair in Connie. Reach out to her as well as reach out to your assistant governors and Ted. And so my final thought to all of you is that Rotary is about service and connection. So let's ensure everyone has a place where they belong. Thank you.
Super. Thank you, Conrad. Anybody have a quick question for Conrad about satellite clubs? And then I'll come back to you, Nancy. Connie, did you have something to add?
I did. Actually, I totally agree with Conrad on the comment he made about check with your current members. Because in the past, when I formed satellite clubs, I tried to just go strictly with all brand new members, but it actually makes more sense to check with your members first because to see if they might want to go over because 1 year after our eco club started, it started to kind of lag and dwindle. And so I reached out to our members and asked, a few of them who I knew were very interested in environmental projects. And even a couple old time members came up to me and said, hey, because I made it known that I was just kind of trying to revitalize the Eco Club. And a couple members came up to me and said, hey, I want to join the Eco Club. I would prefer to be in that club right now. And not because they have anything against the sponsor club. It's just that they're more interested in those projects. So, I mean, I totally agree with you, Conrad. That's a great way to encourage more engagement because they can still work with the sponsor club. They're still members of the big club. It's just that their more focus is going to be on the focus group club. Yeah. So thank you. Agree with it.
Thank you. Nancy, you had something else?
Yeah, coming up really soon, we've got a lot of training coming up. So we really encourage of all the presidents, your current board of directors. Clearly, I'm going to work with my president-elects and hopefully, and some of you are Hanahos there, that we have a district assembly coming up. It's going to be 3 Saturdays, March 29th, April 5th, and April 12th. All 3 Saturdays starts about 9 o'clock and goes until about 12 to 12:30. There's a number of breakout sessions and some really good stuff. Should be pretty fast moving. And really, hopefully, we can get everybody, all the current board members, all the future board members, all your new members, everybody, because it's going to be a real smorgasbord of good training. So try and encourage people, and we'll have a flag going out right now and encourage your members to try and come to that if you can. So mark your calendar there. Also mark your calendar for July 13th, this coming summer, about 2 weeks. Ted's already laughing. He already knows. Anyway, about a couple of weeks after you get back from Calgary, it will be my formal fun installation as district governor. So what I'm going to do is invite you all to come down to Hilo on the 12th. If you like, come down on the 12th for the Hilo Rotary Club Brew Fest, which is a huge fundraiser for us and a lot of great beer. You can buy that nice little expensive ticket. We will have discounted room rates at the Nani Loa. I'll get that package all put together so you can spend the night. I'm working it out. I'll have shuttle services because Hilo, everything's close, our traffic jam, those 12 cars, and then you're here on Sunday, the 13th, because July 13th will be my installation, be not too far from the airport at the Pontiac Equestrian Center, at the arena, horse arena, the Alvin Alcabral rodeo arena named after my deceased husband. And we're just going to have a big Western barbecue. I'll have horses there. So bring your kids, bring your friends, put them on a horse. I'll have somebody to hold them on, Anyway, so come on down, and no cost to attend that. I'm just going to host everything. We'll do the steak and the chicken, the barbecue and the baked beans and all that good food. I'll have a nice big tent. So in case we have any liquid sunshine, but love to have you all join us. Everybody in the whole district will be invited. So mark your calendar there. Then get your big calendar out. August 21, 22, and 23 of 2026. Okay, that's year and a half into the future. That will be a district conference for that year. I'm not calling it my district conference because it's our district conference. And what I'm trying to do is myself, Benson, Rich are really trying to work on this 3-year program, like our shirts that I don't have on today, but is trying to do to where we really roll into a 3-year program. So it's going to be, and that is Statehood Admission Day weekend. And I'm working on it. I'm looking at it, as Sonia said earlier, trying to see about maybe keeping it at Ala Moana, but I have some other options I'm working on. trying to make it really, 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 really affordable, really, really, really convenient, and really dynamic. So people can come, have the camaraderie, have a good time. Childcare during our events on Saturday. Anyway, lots going on that. So mark that weekend, August 21, 22, 23, and 2026. That's after all the graduation parties and stuff should be done. So hopefully we can get a really big group of people to come out for that. So lots to do in the coming couple of years. All right. Thank you much.
Super. Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah.
And Nancy, I'll just highlight also, if you haven't already, be sure to invite your incoming board members to meet with your current board members
Yes.
so that you have good overlap and transition.
I am telling them that, and thank you for reminding me of all you current presidents. I was going to ask if you could reach out to your president-elects in each of your clubs and try starting like now, because April is on us, May and June, and boom. And it really, 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 really helps with the transition. If your current board members, your current secretary, your current treasurer, your current, all of your people, again, this idea of a 3-year rolling plan is part of this. You can't be a silo in your club and go, well, we did a great year, let's see how bad they fall apart. You really want it to, our success each year is not how good a job we did, but how well we passed the torch. So right now it's time to start passing that torch in this relay race, and invite everybody you can and try and help with that transition, because that'll make everybody's, Rotary experience that much better. Okay. Appreciate you guys all working with your incoming presidents and that. And I know I got a lot of AGs on board here tonight. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. We have run a little past our scheduled time, so thanks everybody for hanging in there. I did have a jam-packed agenda for us this evening, but we've got lots of opportunities coming up during the remainder of the year and then into the start of our next Rotary year. So thank you. Please encourage your members to be engaged, to make use of these different opportunities, and let's all have some fun together.
Okay, great.
So thank you all.
Okay. Jay, give me
Aloha
a
and happy
call.
St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Aloha.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Aloha.
Aloha.